Good morning, welcome back. In previous lectures, we have discussed about chapter number 3, that is fuel supply system for CI engine. Now, we will discuss about chapter number 4, that is supercharging, or in the other words, it is called as performance enhancement of engine, because with the help of this supercharging, we have to enhance the performance of engine. Now the question arises is how to improve the engine performance. So there are number of methods to improve the engine performance. We know the definition of efficiency of engine. So engine efficiency is always ratio of output divided by input. So if you want to increase the efficiency, there are two methods. First one is either by increasing the output of engine, and second method is by decreasing the input to the engine. So again there are number of methods to enhance the engine performance. So basically the engine performance can be improved either by increasing the engine or energy input to the engine, or by improving the conversion efficiency of engine. Because in engine we have to convert chemical energy of fuel into initially thermal energy, and after that heat energy convert into mechanical work as a output. So by improving this conversion efficiency, we can increase the engine performance, because as there is a conversion of energy, some amount of energy get lost. So by increasing this efficiency of conversion, we have to increase the engine performance. So following are some methods which are suggested to improve the engine performance. So first one is by increasing the mass flow rate of mixture. If we increase the mass flow rate of air fuel mixture, that is charge, to the engine, what happens? The energy which is developed inside engine cylinder, that is indicated power inside engine cylinder, increases, and due to that performance enhancement of engine takes place. Second, that is supercharging of engine. We will discuss later about the supercharging. Next, use of larger piston diameter. If we use the large diameter piston, then what happens? Whatever the force exerted over that piston, that force is mover, and we get a mover mechanical energy with the help of this engine. Next is use of fuels of higher calorific value. We know the calorific value. Calorific value is nothing but what amount of heat energy which is liberated by the combustion of or complete combustion of a unit quantity of fuel. That means if the calorific value of fuel is mover, then heat energy which is developed inside engine cylinder is mover. And as the heat energy is mover, we get a maximum force over the piston, and we get a maximum mechanical efficiency. So with the help of higher calorific values, we can enhance the performance of engine. Next method to enhance the performance is increase the engine speed. So as this engine speed increases, that means whatever the speed of the engine, if we improve the or increase that speed, then as the piston moves fastly from TDC to BDC, so during this what happens, during suction stroke, with the help of ram effect, more amount of energy gets sucked inside engine cylinder. During the compression stroke, if rapidly the air gets compressed, its pressure temperature suddenly increases. Okay, that means we get a more power output from the engine. Next is by improving the volumetric efficiency. So volumetric efficiency is nothing but what? Actual volume of air which is sucked, or actual volume of charge which is sucked inside engine cylinder, to the theoretical volume. That is nothing but what? Volumetric efficiency. It is a ratio of actual volume sucked to the theoretical volume. So if we improve this volumetric efficiency, that means during the suction stroke, if we suck a more amount of charge in case of SI engine or more amount of air in case of CI engine, we get a more power output from the engine. Next method is use of higher compression ratio. As we increase the compression ratio or use a high compression ratio, in that case compression of the charge takes place more or compression of air takes place more. So as we know the third law, that is Newton's third law, every action has equal and opposite reactions. So if we get more compress, automatically we get a more expansion force. Okay, so as we use higher compression ratios, the more compression of the charge takes place or more compression of air takes place, so automatically we get a maximum expansion power or expansion force. So with the help of this higher compression ratio, we can enhance the engine performance. Next is use of additives. So by using some additives, we can reduce this abnormal combustion tendency, that is knocking and detonation in engines. So with the help of these additives, as the abnormal combustion reduces, the power output from the engine increases. Again, with the help of exhaust gas recirculation method, again we have to increase some amount power output from engine and reduces the nitrogen oxide emission from the engine. Similarly, the positive crankcase ventilation. So with the help of this method, we have to reduce the unburned hydrocarbon loss, because with the help of this method, whatever the unburned charge given out from engine, that charge is again sucked to the engine with the help of this positive crankcase ventilation. Next method is reduction in heat loss. So in case of engine, after combustion some amount of energy is always lost to the surrounding. So if you reduce this heat loss from the engine, whatever the power developed, that is heat developed inside engine cylinder, if we utilize that heat to convert that heat into mechanical energy maximum without loss, we get a maximum power from the engine. That means performance of engine increases. So these are the number of ways or methods to improve the engine performance or power output from the engine. So from that, one of the method to improve this performance or power output from engine is supercharging. So supercharging is nothing but the process of increasing the inlet air or charge density in order to increase the power output of engine is called as supercharging. So in this method, we have to increase the density of charge in case of SI engine or density of air in case of CI engine to increase the power output of engine. So then that method is called as what? Supercharging. So how to increase this charge density or density of air in case of engine? So if we pressurize the charge during the suction stroke or compress the charge during the suction stroke to get induced inside engine cylinder with the help of some external device like compressor, if we pressurize the surrounding air or pressurize the charge from carburetor and supply to the engine cylinder during suction stroke, so with the help of this more amount of charge or more amount of air gets admitted inside engine cylinder, and we get a more output power. So this method is nothing but what called as a supercharging.